Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Main News. The headlines. Electoral Commission of Zambia lifts KAMBWILI'S suspension. A 24-year-old woman cannot reach puberty due to rare health condition. A long holiday period claims 32 lives through road traffic accidents. In international news, Jacob Zuma turns himself into South African police. And in sports, Lesotho beats Zambia by 2-1 as MICHO shifts attention to ESWATINI in COSAFA Championship. Join me with the main news in detail after this commercial.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
And now the main news in detail. Residents of Muyombe area, Mafinga district of Mchinga province have expressed gratitude to government over the construction of a new hospital in the area. In an interview with Camnet TV, one of the residents, identified as Hope Chisenga, says the modern hospital, which is currently under construction, will help the community access good health care services. The residents have, however, appealed to government to consider opening the hospital as soon as possible.
Muyombe, a rural community town in Mafinga district. Mafinga district of Mchinga province was created from the former Isoka East constituency in February 2011 by late President MICHO. The district borders Malawi, and nearly 90% of the district is rural. However, the area is slowly being developed, with the residents of Muyombe expressing their gratitude toward the government's effort in bringing development to the district with the construction of this new modern hospital.
Umusebo nakaba ama business at least batushireko improve ama business na kuchirisha bambi panomule tumona tulekwa enchito ati inchito tatuleshimona so boma tineromba batu ingisha ko enchito tuli bengi sana kwa baleka village reka na pefino vine mwatu mona mtu bando tulekwa empia kaito tatu batu tuleto tela kuteko chakwe bati bali tuletele chipatala bakomanya kwa fino kulashita improve Muyombe tulekwa buyantana.
Here in Muyombe, there's a lot of things which we need. So we need government to implement road. In addition to that, a clinic. Even the hospital is very lack a lot of things there. Okay. So we need, I think, more advance should be needed there.
Residents are now appealing to the government to consider opening the hospital immediately, as this will help them access good health services in the area. The hospital, which has been under construction since 2017, is now completed, waiting to be commissioned.
Commend the government for building a modern hospital in Myombe of Mafinga district in Chiga province, where I would also want the government to consider opening it sooner and furnish it with vital equipment.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka Union of Marketeers has directed market leaders to penalize any shop owner whose business will be found abrogating the COVID-19 guidelines from operating at any market premises. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, Union General Secretary Mofat Mangoni says there is need to contain the further spread of COVID-19 in the country before it paralyzes the entire economy. Meanwhile, Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association Executive Director Mopila Kameya has directed that anyone abrogating the COVID-19 preventive guidelines be banned from entering any marketplace without exceptions.
Reports of businesses collapsing, borders closing, citizens dying all due to COVID-19 pandemic that can easily be prevented does not seem to settle well with a circle of hope who have for many years been engaged in community response in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Circle of Hope has since partnered with a consortium of associations in the informal sector, Ministry of Health, and the Center for Disease Control in order to urgently contain the current third wave of COVID-19 at community and household level. Union Executive Director Gibbs Damakangila says a number of activities have to be followed at household level, such as masking up even during evening and night time in order to contain the pandemic.
We are recommending that for 21 days, can we as citizens of Zambia practice social distancing in our homes? Number two, can we practice, especially with our teenagers, masking up in our homes, only for 21 days.
He adds that teenagers and youths must minimize contact in homes, while communities should support the quarantined and hospitalized psychologically, socially, nutritionally, and spiritually in order to avoid deaths that come with lack of the above.
COVID-19 does not respect sunlight, daylight, or even darkness. You can still contract COVID-19 whether it's after 19 or 20 hours. So we want to urge every citizen in Zambia to mask up as long as you're in a public place, even in the night.
The Lusaka Union of Marketeers and the Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association Zamanaka has directed market leaders to suspend any shop owner, businesses or individuals who will be found abrogating the COVID-19 preventive guidelines.
The Lusaka Union of Marketeers is now giving a directive to all our primary cooperative leaders to suspend any shop owner or stand owner who will be found selling to a customer who is not wearing a face mask, and the customers should be advised that before they enter the markets, they should mask up.
Our strongest appeal to all our marketeers and traders operating in all designated and non-designated markets across the country through the market leadership is to ensure that anyone found abrogating the set COVID-19 guidelines should be barred.
And the Southern African Cross-Border Trader Association wants its members to be prioritized when it comes to the administration of COVID-19 vaccines.
I think the vaccines are there to make sure that it is going to protect people, each and every Zambian. But we are saying for cross-border traders, they can actually be given a priority to make sure that they can actually be given the...
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Ministry of Health says the administration of the dose 1 of the AstraZeneca vaccine commences Friday, 9th July 2021 until the doses are finished in stock. Speaking during the COVID-19 update in Lusaka Thursday, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Technical Services Dr. Kennedy Malama says the vaccination will be given on a first-come, first-served basis, but with priority given to frontline workers as the availability of the vaccines allow.
According to statistics released by the Ministry of Health on the 8th of July 2021, the country has finally seen a glimpse of hope as they have recorded a reduction in the number of COVID active cases, with a high of 22,867 on the 24th of June to today's 15,681, with further reductions in daily admissions to hospitals from the 259 on the 22nd of June to 160 recorded in the last 24 hours, an achievement to be taken with caution as the statistics still remain high at over 20%, whereas the recommended level is 5% to indicate reduction in community transmission, urging members of the public not to lower their guard against the virus but to continue on the same trajectory of following the COVID-19 guidelines.
No one is safe until we are all safe. We remain confident that together we can defeat COVID-19 sooner than later.
And in continued efforts to fight the virus, the ministry has further announced commencement of the administration of the dose 1 of the AstraZeneca, which will begin on Friday, the 9th of July 2021, throughout the week till the depletion in all provinces, much to the excitement of many who have been eager to receive the vaccine.
So yes, what we receive may not be enough, but we'll be taking a step at a time, and we are confident that by the end of this year, many more Zambians would have been vaccinated, 19 positive. Should you take your vaccine? The question is, are you symptomatic? Are you severely sick? Are you in hospital? Are you in ICU? So if you are positive, asymptomatic, there's nothing which prevents you from getting a vaccine.
The ministry has also advised those taking the COVID-19 vaccine not to relax as they still can get the virus.
Once you're vaccinated, it does not mean that you can't get the infection. You can still get the infection. The only thing is you might not get seriously ill, but you can still get the infection and may pass it on to other people who are not yet vaccinated or those with other comorbidities. So we actually want to emphasize the fact that we are not yet at a point where we're going to relax the 5 golden rules. And so I also just want to urge everyone that as the vaccines become more and more available, we are calling upon everyone to take that decision and come and get vaccinated.
In the last 24 hours, the country has recorded 1,453 new confirmed COVID-19 cases out of 6,484 tests conducted, with 54 COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours. Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
In other news, the Zambia Medical Association has observed that stakeholder collaboration remains vital towards combating the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Association Secretary General Dr. Masiku Piri says medical practitioners who are frontline workers must be supported if Zambia is to win the fight against COVID-19. Speaking when he received a donation of COVID-19 personal protective and diagnostic tools from Neria's Investment Limited, Dr. Piri is impressed that the gesture will go a long way towards mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic. And Neria's Investment Limited General Manager Martin Chaikatisha says they are committed to Zambia's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. He has thanked doctors and nurses, first responders and cleaning staffs and many others who find themselves on the front line of the public health emergency.
The COVID-19 pandemic has continued to ravage the country. According to the Ministry of Health, as of Thursday, 8th July 2021, confirmed COVID-19 cases stand at 170,456. Recoveries are at 152,103 cases, while deaths recorded to date now stand at 2,672. The Zambia Medical Association has been lobbying for support for frontline workers, and the response came from Neria's Investment Limited. The firm empowered medical doctors with durable glucose monitoring tools and extra stripes that are key in the treatment and monitoring of COVID-19 patients. And Nera's Investment Limited General Manager Martin Chaikatisha says they are committed to Zambia's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, as evidenced in the donation of COVID-19 responsive materials.
We believe that it's a noble cause and part of our corporate social responsibility to do this kind of thing, especially that we want to help and supplement government efforts in fighting COVID-19. So we are glad to be here and to help in a small way, at least to help safeguard our medical personnel lives, especially the doctors.
Speaking when he received a donation of COVID-19 personal protective and diagnostic tools, Zambia Medical Association Secretary General Dr. Masiko Piri is impressed that the gesture will go a long way towards mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic.
As an association, we are sincerely hopeful that with this kind gesture exhibited by the Nera Investment Limited, other cooperating entities can take leaf and support the care for the caregiver program that has a projected budget of $500,000 aimed at building capacity within the association to support treatment of medical doctors that fall ill fighting COVID-19 in line of duty. We wish to know that Zambia Medical Association is exploring ways of bringing timelines forward and expediting completion of the Zambia Medical Association Hospital in order to address the needs of care for the caregiver program effectively, and that we may take charge of the treatment of our own doctors. COVID-19 has taught us that in order to effectively take care of our members, it may not be enough to link them to care, but we may need to take a step further by building capacity to treat them ourselves. No doctors should ever be lost in undignified circumstances.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
32 people died from road traffic accidents during the Heroes and Unity holiday of 2021, as well as the holidays declared during the period of national mourning from 1st July to 8th July 2021. According to figures from the Zambia Police, a total number of 317 road traffic accidents were recorded, out of which 30 were fatal road traffic accidents. 42 were serious road traffic accidents, in which 63 persons were seriously injured, 68 were slight road traffic accidents, in which 110 persons were slightly injured. Among other provinces, Lusaka province recorded the highest number of road traffic accidents, with 148, out of which 6 were fatal road traffic accidents, in which 6 people died. Followed by Copperbelt, with 43, of which 1 was a fatal road traffic accident, in which 1 person died. Out of 317 road traffic accidents recorded, 205 casualties were recorded, out of which 32 persons were killed and 63 persons were seriously injured. Meanwhile, a total amount of 832,910 kwacha was raised as an admission of guilt during the period under review. Zambia Police spokesperson Esther Katongo says most of the accidents were as a result of excessive speed. Therefore, police will continue working in collaboration with other stakeholders to ensure the safety of persons on public roads. She has appealed to all road users to observe road traffic rules and regulations whilst on the road so as to avoid unnecessary accidents. British Ambassador to Zambia Nicholas Woolley has told Camnet News that Zambia and United Kingdom continue to share strong trade links. Mr. Woolley says despite the COVID-19 affecting the general global economic outlook, British investors remain interested in Zambia. He says they remain focused on fostering cordial trade ties through mutual benefits. According to Trading Economics, global micromodels and analyst expectations in the long terms, the Zambia foreign direct investment is projected to trend around 200 million United States dollars in 2022 and 300 million United States dollars.
And that's replicated across many different territories and countries worldwide. In the UK, we're bouncing back from that. Zambia has also been through a difficult period, but there are many British countries who continue to be interested in Zambia. It's a difficult time economically for everyone, but we have very strong trade links. There's lots of UK investment here, and we've had visits already this year virtually by our Africa Trade Commissioner, by our new UK Prime Minister's trade envoy to Zambia, all of whom hope to come out in person as soon as the situation permits.
A 24-year-old woman of Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound living with the conditions, Kalman's condition, Patricia Sakala, is appealing for help from well-wishers to get hormonal transplant. Her condition, which needs 33,000 kwacha to be corrected, has prevented her from fully maturing and attaining puberty despite her age. Mother of the woman, Nancy Sakala, narrates that despite various calls to well-wishers for help, nothing has come forth. The National Food and Nutrition Commission says it is targeting to reduce stunting levels in children through different interventions, the promotion, constant breastfeeding and balanced diets for pregnant mothers and children. In an interview with Camnet News today, National Food and Nutrition Commission Communications Manager Gladys Kabange says the first 1,000 Most Critical Days program was designed to provide women in Zambia with a host of maternal and infant health supports.
National Food and Nutrition Commission has recorded the need for mothers in Zambia to follow the interventions given by Ministry of Health and other stakeholders in dealing with stunted growth among children. Research has indicated that the first 1,000 most critical days from conception to age 3 opens a critical and singular window of opportunity. During this period, children's brains can form 1,000 neural connections every second. Therefore, the 1,000 Most Critical Days program was designed by different stakeholders to offer mothers and babies in Zambia a suite of interventions to improve their health and development.
The nutrition of the child, but we also have to look after the nutrition of the woman who is carrying this particular child. That's how important this particular aspect is. And we are looking at nutrition interventions, which are actually categorized into two, what we call nutrition-specific interventions and nutrition-sensitive interventions. The difference being the nutrition-specific interventions are the ones which answer to the immediate causes of malnutrition. And then the nutrition-sensitive interventions respond to the underlying causes of malnutrition.
In Zambia, stunting, a rate of a common measure of malnutrition, currently stands at 40%. Therefore, Ms. Kabange says the 1,000 Most Critical Days is being implemented in 40 districts countrywide.
Nutritious and diverse foods, that is in the context of production, not only in the context of production, but we are looking also in the context of processing, storage, and utilization of those particular food crops, be it livestock. And when we are talking livestock, we are encouraging people to grow the small livestock like chicken and goats. And then one very important intervention which also has a very big impact is having safe water, hygiene, and safe water wash.
It is vital for women to follow the interventions of the 1,000 Most Critical Days. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Cooperative Federation, ZCF, has called on small-scale farmers to be patient when selling their produce in order to avoid getting a raw deal. Speaking to Camnet TV in Lusaka, ZCF Director General James Chira says most small-scale farmers are in a hurry to sell their produce to the first buyer that comes, hence making losses. Mr. Chira says farmers should instead use cooperatives to market their produce just as they do when getting their farming inputs. He says using the cooperative places farmers at an advantaged position to market their agro-produce.
I don't know how they become desperate at some point, when they've been patient when it comes to looking at the maize from planting to harvesting. What I would urge the small-scale farmers is that most of them belong to the cooperative societies. They belong to cooperatives, and they use these cooperatives to collect inputs from government. How I wished they can know that even to market their commodities, they should market it as a single unit from the cooperatives that they have. They should all mop up their maize and store it at their own cooperative so that they do not distort the price, because the institution will have an institutional price.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take our first set of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this.
Good day to you, our dear esteemed customers. As ZAMBIA, we're glad to bring something of excitement to you, and it's a promotion we've dubbed Yatu, which simply means it's yours. And in this promotion, we're giving benefits that are tailored to you specifically as a customer, depending on the profile or the segment that you're sitting on as a customer. And in this promotion, we are saying you will get from as low as 13 benefits amounting to over 500%, and it's all for you so that you get more benefits. So to know more about Yatu, stay on.
Yatu is a promotion that offers ZAMBIA customers amazing benefits that are made just for you. ZAMBIA customers will get amazing benefits of over 500% bonus back the value that they use when they subscribe to a Yatu offer. Yatu benefits will be usable for ZAMBIA to ZAMBIA calls, ZAMBIA to ZAMBIA SMSs, and browsing on pay-as-you-go defined rates. For you to access the amazing Yatu offers, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 1 to purchase the offer that best suits you. ZAMBIA customers will have the ability to actually purchase the Yatu benefit more than once. So this means you can purchase the offer twice, you can purchase the offer 3 times, and the benefits will be accumulative at the end of the day. Yatu benefits will be able to be redeemed if you subscribe to the same offer within a 5-day period. So if you have unused benefits from the previous day and the expiry date comes, you can still subscribe to the same offer within 5 days and your benefits will be able to accumulate. How amazing is that? For you to check your Yatu benefit balance, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 2 and you'll be able to see your current balance.
Lungu and the Patriotic Front have transformed the transportation sector by facilitating the construction of bus stations around the country. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
ZAMBIA has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the main news. The Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ has lifted the suspension slapped on Patriotic Front member Chishiba Kambwili on the 30th of June 2021. The electoral body suspended Dr. Kambwili over his tribal remarks targeted at the United Party for National Development UPND. According to the commission, Dr. Kambwili abrogated the electoral code recently and insisted that he was only trying to highlight what was happening in the UPND. But Monday, the Electoral Commission of Zambia lifted the suspension because, according to them, he has shown remorse.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has lifted the suspension which was slapped on Mr. Chishiba Kambwili on June 30th, 2021. Recently, the ECZ indefinitely suspended Mr. Chishiba Kambwili due to his failure to adhere to the Electoral Code of Conduct, particularly the use of hate speech and holding of campaign rallies despite the guidance provided. And he was subject to review from participating in any campaign activities in line with the Electoral Code of Conduct. In a statement made available to Camnet News, the electoral body claims that Kambwili has shown remorse through the apology rendered to the Commission and his conduct during the time of his suspension. The Commission has advised Mr. Kambwili to use appropriate language when conducting any campaigns. The ECZ has therefore reiterated that the use of language which incites hatred and violence in any form against any person shall not be tolerated, as it contravenes the provisions of the Electoral Commission of Conduct. This is contained in a statement made available to Camnet TV on Thursday by ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga. Alex Shimba, Camnet TV, Lusaka.
The United Prosperous and Peaceful Party executive in Northwestern Province has defected to the United Party for National Development, citing good leadership in the UPND. Speaking on behalf of the defectors, former UPPZ Provincial Chairman Henry Chipela says after a deep thought, he has come to a conclusion that the only party that can end the suffering Zambians are facing is the UPND under the leadership of Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Chipela says he and 30 others have joined the UPND because Hakainde Hichilema has the best plans and agenda for the country, which has been facing serious economic challenges. And receiving the defectors, UPND National Chairman Stephen Katuka thanked the defectors and urged the old members to embrace them.
The policy is that whether you join today, you are as equal a member as me who started the party in province. So you are welcome. Thank you very much.
I was, until today, as the provincial chairman for UPPZ. I would like to begin by thanking UPPZ President Charles Chanda and the entire leadership of the party for according me the opportunity to serve them as the provincial chairman. After careful analysis and having taken deep thoughts, I have come to conclusion that the only party with ending the challenges our people are facing today is no other than United Party for National Development. And this is under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema.
The 2021 statistics from the Cotton Board of Zambia indicates that the country is not fully benefiting from its cotton sector following the collapse of Mulungushi textiles in Central Province. Cotton production in Zambia comes second after maize, with about 300,000 farmers involved in the farming. The board has since recommended the immediate revamping of the textile industry, which will see the country exporting finished products in order to gain more revenue from cotton and attain an economic boost. The Professional Teachers Union of Zambia, PUBERTY, has called on the Ministry of General Education to consider putting up more exam strong rooms across the country in order to ensure the safety of exam papers and prevent examination leakages. In an exclusive interview with Camnet TV, PUBERTY's Secretary General Kangwa Msenga says the Ministry of Health should consider vaccinating teachers as essential workers. General Certificate of Education GCE and Grade 9 external exams are set to begin on the 19th of July 2021.
The issue of examination leakages in Zambia has been a topic of public interest in the country over the past years. Every year around examination time, concerns of exam leakages are raised. It is for this reason that the Professional Teachers Union of Zambia, PUBERTY, says building more examination strong rooms may be the solution to ensure that examination materials are safely housed. Zambia is set to start its 2021 school exams, beginning with the General Certificate of Education GCE and Grade 9 external exams on 19th July 2021. PUBERTY's Secretary General Kangwa Msenga has called for measures to be put in place to ensure that no leakages are recorded during this examination year. Mr. Msenga, however, adds that the union is confident in pupils passing despite frequent closures, saying teachers were well trained to cover all topics.
The union will be part and parcel to ensure that we have a free malpractice during this GCE. We urge all the candidates for GCE to continue studying until they write the exams, and all our members must be vigilant to ensure that there is no malpractice. For those who are planning to engage in malpractice, it's a serious warning that we call upon the law enforcement to ensure that we have no malpractice, and they must bring these perpetrators to book. So we urge the district board secretaries to ensure that there is no leakage because of not having the exam papers. We've been in areas which are extremely very far from the district, where you need to transport exam papers throughout the night.
He has further made an appeal to the Ministry of Health to consider vaccinating teachers against the coronavirus, being essential workers.
If it's a mandatory situation, then we will know how to manage this. And equally, we urge all teachers in the country to be vaccinated. We have the new vaccine which is coming in, as we were told, the Johnson & Johnson. We lobby that the teachers be the first ones to receive the Johnson & Johnson, so that we move on with the managing of the COVID-19.
The PUBERTY Secretary General also says the Ministry of Health should consider making coronavirus testing mandatory to the general public in order to safeguard lives. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, Taijin Maolon Science and Technology Company Limited and Nkana Alloy and Smelting Company Limited have appealed against the judgment entered by the Lusaka High Court, in which it granted a go-ahead to pull out of Nkana Alloy and Smelting Company and report ZESA's 30% of the Black Mountain in Kitwe. This is a matter in which the said company has sued government in the Lusaka High Court over its decision to pull out as a minority shareholder in Kana Alloy and repossesses 50% of the Black Mountain in Kitwe, and have cited the Attorney General as the respondent in the matter. In an affidavit in support of a summons for an order for leave to appeal the ruling dated 4th June 2021 to the Court of Appeal, the plaintiffs states that they are totally dissatisfied with the ruling because it has effectively granted government 30% shares in the Black Mountain, hence seek to appeal against the ruling. In their statement of claim, the plaintiffs had submitted that Nkana Alloy has 3 shareholders who are Taijin Mylon with 90% shareholding, ZCCMIH with 10% shareholding, and the Ministry of Finance as the golden shareholder. The owners of the Black Mountain contend that Nkana Alloy has faced a lot of challenges with illegal miners commonly known as Jerobos since its incorporation in 2014, whom it had legal battles with, which were only resolved 3 years ago when the government decided to pull out from Nkana Alloy with its 10% shareholding in the Black Mountain. The Chipata Magistrate Court has sentenced a 43-year-old man caretaker of Chipata to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor for stealing household goods. This was in a matter David Temple was charged with 1 count of theft contrary to the laws of Zambia. The convict on dates unknown but in October 2020 in Chipata stole assorted items worth 5,790 kwacha, property of Sergeant Temple. The convict was left in his possession as a house caretaker by Mr. Sergeant Temple, who had gone out for about 2 years but took advantage and stole some of the household items. The convict, who appeared before Magistrate Twiza Chiyumbe, admitted committing the offense and asked the court's mercy in his mitigation. But when passing judgment, Magistrate Chiyumbe said the offense Tembo committed is a serious one and that to help him reform, she was sentencing him to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor effective from the date of arrest. The Zambia Institute of Governance and Civil Liberties Advocacy Platform has praised President Edgar Lungu for what he terms as an act of true statesmanship in the way the funeral for Zambia's founding father, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, was managed. Organization Chief Executive Officer Francis Chipili has, to his effect, commended the head of state for strictly adhering to the announced 21 days national mourning of our late founding father, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Mr. Chipili says President Lungu has continued to build on late President Sata's resolve to restore great honor and dignity of late President Kaunda's legacy. Dr. Kaunda died on 17th June and was put to rest Wednesday, 7th July 2021 after 21 days national mourning.
The club is intrigued by the fact that President Lungu has continued to display high levels of patience and humility. As you know, the president continued on President Michael Sata's resolve of restoring the true legacy of our now late president, first president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, by ensuring that he honored Dr. Kenneth Kaunda while he was still alive, and also he honored him in his death. We commend the president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, for strictly adhering to the 21 days national mourning of our founding father. The club hopes that other politicians can learn from the patriotic manner in which the president has demonstrated. That's the way it's supposed to be.
We take our second set of commercials. Coming next is international and sports news.
I was born in Mwengwa
in a grass-thatched house. I went to school barefoot and then to secondary school. University came, all of these on government bursary, on the sponsorship of the people of Zambia. Many people ask me questions. Why have you continued to seek public office? You've been arrested 15 times. This fight is not about Hakainde. It's about 18 million Zambians who want a better life. I'm standing for the presidency of this country because I know and I believe that this country is so rich and yet its people live in poverty. I am standing for that child to have an opportunity to go to school the way I did myself. It's time for change. Zambians have suffered enough. I'm Hakainde Hichilema. I invite you to take my hand. Together, we will build a better life for every Zambian.
Kumbula International Airport, located just 15 kilometers from the Victoria Falls, is now one of the best and busiest airports that Zambia has. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
Every day for me means hard work, going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date: 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges: 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Welcome back. Now getting into our international item. South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma is in police custody after turning himself in late on Wednesday. He was sentenced last week to 15 months in jail for failing to show up at an inquiry into corruption during his time in office. Al Jazeera's Famida Miller reports from the correctional facility in East Court where he is being detained. In other news, for many Ethiopians, the Grand Ethiopian Resonance Dam is a source of pride. They have a stake in it as common people have contributed millions of dollars to the mega engineering project by buying bonds. But above all, they are looking forward to change in their lives in a country where more than half the population is not connected to the grid. Here is a roundup.
South Africa's former president, Jacob Zuma, is in police custody after turning himself in late on Wednesday night. A court sentenced him to 15 months in jail for failing to show up at a corruption inquiry last week. This is where Zuma is being held now. Those graft charges stem from his time in office. Police had been instructed to arrest Zuma if he didn't turn himself in by the deadline on Wednesday. He's challenged his imprisonment. A ruling is expected on Friday. Famida Miller has more from Escort, where he's being detained.
It was shortly before a midnight deadline that the former president Jacob Zuma's foundation announced that he had decided to comply with the incarceration order given by the Constitutional Court a week ago. Until now, the former president had resisted arrest. He was supposed to have given himself in last Sunday. When that didn't happen, police were instructed to arrest Jacob Zuma. But there were concerns around safety and a potentially volatile situation around in Nkandla and KwaZulu-Natal, where the former president has a homestead and where he does enjoy significant support. Now, to avoid any type of confrontation between police and supporters, the former president then took a convoy with his protection service to this correctional facility in Escort, also in KwaZulu-Natal. He's now handed himself in, he's being processed, and it's likely this is where he will spend at least the first few days of his sentence, because once that processing is completed, authorities determine the most suitable correctional facility or accommodation for the former president, given his age and his health. He'd previously said that he shouldn't be imprisoned because he's 79 years old, he's unwell, and South Africa is currently going through a third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic.
You will know that as a former president, he has the Presidential Protection Unit. They brought him to us, but now we have to take over to ensure that he's incarcerated in a safe custody, and also we'll have to respond to his special needs if any have been identified.
Jacob Zuma and his legal team have submitted an application to be heard by the Constitutional Court next week. And that's where he's hoping that either the judgment made that has found him guilty of contempt of court will be rescinded, or at least his sentence reduced from 15 months. But before that, he does have a pending application at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, where he had asked for the arrest not to happen. But that judgment is only due on Friday, and that's why the former president has been incarcerated. Legal experts say the likelihood of that particular case being successful is very slim. And so the next time we could possibly hear from the former president is next week, when his lawyers represent him at the Constitutional Court, possibly in mitigation of the sentence, even though it's after the fact. Either way, for many South Africans, it may be almost unbelievable that Jacob Zuma, the former president, who hasn't been held accountable until now, who faces a number of corruption charges, finds himself behind bars.
The family of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse will not be able to hold an open casket funeral. Assassins shot him several times in the head in front of his wife and daughter early on Wednesday. Later that night, police arrested these two men in the Pétionville neighborhood of Port-au-Prince. They killed 4 other suspects. 3 officers were briefly held hostage during the raid. Moïse's killing upset local residents.
Imagine we live in this area close to the president. Even when we have problems with the president, we can't imagine they will kill him like this.
I heard something go boom, like an earthquake. I thought something under the soil had been turning.
The interim prime minister urged Haitians to remain calm.
I have already spoken about the state of the siege declared. The president's body has already been transported into the morgue in the capital. The first lady is out of danger and is being treated in Florida. As per the latest information, her state is stable.
Moïse's death came as he was in the middle of a political crisis. Parliament had been suspended for the past 2 years, and opponents accused Moïse of trying to undermine the Constitution. The U.S. backed Moïse's decision to stay in power for 1 more year, just so long as elections took place on time.
We need a lot more information, but it's very worrisome about the state.
Even as the investigation begins, interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph and the man Moïse had picked to succeed him are fighting over who's in charge. Moïse's widow, Martine, was flown to the U.S. to recover from her injuries. But Haiti's border with the Dominican Republic is now closed. Authorities have shut down the airport until further notice, raising questions about how Haiti will recover from this attack on the body politic. Rosalind Jordan, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Tejnesh Gerome shows us all she's ever used to light up her house, a bottle kerosene lamp. She lives in a village 2 hours drive north of Addis Ababa.
We have many health problems. We spend more time than we should in hospitals, and I think it's linked to this lamp.
Next door, her brother-in-law is using solar energy, but only he and a few others here can afford it.
Women travel far with their donkeys to get the most basic support. If we had electricity in our village, then they wouldn't have to go far to grind maize, for example.
Up to 65 million Ethiopians, that's more than half the population, are not connected to the electricity grid. Many have bought government bonds for the construction of the Grand Renaissance Dam, Africa's largest hydroelectric dam.
About 250 Ethiopians live in this village. They're poor farmers who raised $1,500 for the construction of the dam. They're passionate about the project and eagerly waiting to be connected to the grid.
Ethiopia has started filling the dam for a second time, and this is causing unease downstream. Egypt and Sudan are worried about how it could affect their own water flows. The two countries want a binding agreement governing how the dam will be operated. Talks mediated by the African Union have failed. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed recently told Parliament the project will not stop.
Ethiopia does not intend to arm other countries. Our intention is to work with other countries and improve our status.
Moses Atemu is worried about the tensions. He has invested about $2 million in expanding his oxygen and nitrogen energy plant in anticipation of more reliable electricity. His factory, which supplies oxygen to all of eastern Ethiopia, is facing daily unpredictable power cuts.
For Ethiopia is life and death, because without electricity, enough electricity, this country cannot progress at all. So, being such important commodity for us, we are contributing willingly from our pocket
With or without an agreement, the completion of the dam is imminent. And Ethiopians like Tishome Tidese, his family and neighbors back in Misraki village are preparing for what it may bring. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Misraki, Ethiopia.
Let's now get into our international and a sports item rather. The Zambia national team has started the COSAFA Cup on a low note after losing to Lesotho by 2-1. The Chipolopolo boys scored the only goal through Justin Shonga. Chipolopolo coach MICHO says they will leave today's game behind and focus on the next encounter against ESWATINI. In a post-match interview, the Zambian coach says his squad remains focused to progress to the next level of the tournament. More in the following report.
The COSAFA Cup, or the COSAFA Senior Challenge Cup, is an annual tournament for teams from Southern Africa organized by Council of Southern Africa Football Associations. Throughout the game, Zambia did not look like a score giant in Southern Africa. Lesotho proved to be a stronger side by defeating the Copper Bullets with a 2-1 scoreline. Speaking in a post-interview, Chipolopolo coach MICHO says they will leave today's game behind and focus on the next encounter against ESWATINI.
Been a bit affected. Now our operational level in second half was not on required level. I need to give credit to the opponent. We knew that when they're overloading the midfield that we need to provide and coverage there, and we cannot allow them in transition to take us on counters. Exactly this what they have waited. Foot arriving caught us. This is why in second half we have not looked the way we are supposed to be. We need to regroup, to put this game behind us and to look forward to the next match against ESWATINI, because our intention is to qualify to semi-finals, and we need to pick the pieces from this game to learn the lessons, to go back to the drawing board, and on Saturday bounce back.
Lesotho coach Leslie Maketha says his team deserves the win because they had more scoring opportunities and engaged much better in the second half. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV main news, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Electoral Commission of Zambia lifts KAMBWILI'S suspension. A 24-year-old woman cannot reach puberty due to rare health condition. A long holiday period claims 32 lives through road traffic accidents. In international news, Jacob Zuma turns himself into South African police. And in sports, Lesotho beats Zambia by 2-1 as MICHO shifts attention to ESWATINI and COSAFA Championship. Before we go, here's a Camnet verse of the day, and it's coming from the book of Isaiah 12, verse 2, and it reads, "Indeed, God is my salvation. I will trust him and not be afraid. For Yah the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation." Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Continue watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Pleasant viewing.